It's Dora, right? Dora?
Yes, please.
Okay.
A rule of thumb for me when I'm recording is I always have at least 3 people recording, okay? Because we've been having such issues about downloading and uploading these videos.
I know. That's why I have Peter, who's managing the YouTube channel and Zoom room. It's with his Zoom room that we're able to have meetings. So that's why when I'm late and I have issues and technical issues like this, he's doing it well. Thank you so much. Right, so here we go, Mike. Thank you. The recording's on, yeah. And Laurie and Dora can start recording now. Oh, they did. Wonderful. Thank you.
All right.
Mike, could you just answer that question about the infinity?
Yes, can you go ahead and say the question again now that we're recording?
So you're saying it's a safety precaution. Would you insert the infinity, is this the infinity charm or a quad core?
I can't. You're
So
breaking up really bad on the keywords that you're saying.
Right. Would you put the infinity loop from the live socket to the Q device or from the Q device? Can you hear me?
Yeah. It doesn't matter where you put it in there, okay?
Right.
Wherever you put your device in, okay, or wherever you put infinity, it will work just fine. Okay?
So is that a quad core or an infinity device?
The quad core is, yes. Anytime you twist your wires, anytime you twist your wires, all right, don't count the number of twists. You don't even have to look at it, just whatever feels right. And
so you want to run the number, you say? Did you hear that?
I'm sorry, I can't understand you.
Is that any better?
Vince, would you be able to put the microphone further away from you? I think you're speaking too close to the microphone.
Right, okay. Is the idea to have a random number?
Vince, put down the volume a bit.
Is that any better? No, I think it's a problem with the microphone. Okay.
All right, let's try this again.
Any better?
Yeah, go ahead and speak. We'll try to get it.
So is the Q to have a random number rather than, I heard you saying one thing, if you've got a Q144, they know exactly the number to dial into.
Okay, the Q144 is what I picked up. Okay.
No, it's not going to work. Sorry, Mike. I think it's my microphone. Or...
Hey, Vince, how about typing your question into the chat?
Oh, right. That's okay. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, I don't know why it's doing it.
So, Mike, I'm unfamiliar with the Infinity Project. What is that?
The Infinity Project is just it's just me sharing information, and it's just a group of people that want to get the information out and go from there. We're not trying to start any businesses or any of that kind of stuff. We just want to share the information as easily as possible with the world. But the Infinity Project is all about infinity and teaching the understanding of duality and the universe that we live in and how it operates. And if you can understand how the energy flows in your devices, okay, you can correlate that into how it flows inside the body and the human chakra system. Okay, and then it works the same way with plants, and it works the same way with animals, all of that. So, we just teach. We just teach about incorporating it into your life. Let's see here. Then says, is the idea in the infinity to have a random number of turns? Yes. Okay. You don't want to count the number of turns, or even look at it, because the stuff that we're dealing with here, this energy, this AI, all right, it uses the nanoparticles that have been sprayed in the airs and it can hijack your eyes without you even knowing it. Okay, it can hijack your it can sit dormant for a while, and basically it's just like having a webcam, you know, attached to your eye sockets. And you know, if you're looking at your device, it can count it. It's an intelligence, you know. So you know, I don't even look at mine anymore. I used to count them, and I used to try to take you know, notes on every little detail, and try to share that with people. But it became unimportant. You know, the total number of turns became unimportant, and when it happens, it's just a matter of being able to be creative. You know, the creativity of humanity is what stops all of this, you know. And they've suppressed our creativity, they've suppressed everything, and our desire to be creative, you know, especially in, you know, our schools. So the number of turns or twists that you have is your security code. And the longer the device, can you pull up my active video so I can I want to show this Pi device. I don't know if you guys could do it. If you guys pull up the big screen on you for mine, okay, you can see that I've got a it's a 6-core. Okay, the Infinity is 6 in the center of this circle here, and I don't know how many twists there are, and I don't know how many twists are on the outside here. All right, so you know, nobody or any, you know, nothing can copy this. Okay, even the AI, because there's an infinite number of possibilities. The length of the wire matters, the number of twists matter, the diameter of the wire matters, you know. So if you mix things up a little bit, you know, if they say, oh, use 18 gauge wire and use exactly 3 feet of wire and twist it 81 times, you know, or, you know, make 81 turns on your coils. Okay, that's a dialing in of your universal telephone number when you open up these maggraphs. Okay, and when you add an infinity device in there, it's like putting your firewall, and it doesn't matter how small, how big, it's just adding one into it. And you know, like I said, there's nothing to worry about. We're already here. It's just making people aware, and awareness brings it just brings awareness, and awareness brings change. So, you know, that's kind of why we share everything. You know, you may not understand what we're saying, but because it's being broadcast over the internet and saved to hard drives all around the world, you're helping humanity. Every time you post something on Facebook, it's saved to Facebook's hard drive. And Facebook is helping us change the world, whether we want to believe it or not. You know, so I just keep posting all my stuff, and you know, if I get 6 views, I don't care. You know, it's all right. I know that people will come back to it. So, and did that answer your question, Vince? Is that taken care of? You say, do I agree that the information is coming from IBM Watson? If it's the same one as Google, then yeah. I'm not, I am aware of Watson, but Watson is limited in what he can do. Google supercomputer or quantum computer they have is much more powerful, and the military industrial complex is behind all of that. All right. So anything else? You guys got questions? would like to show
Okay,
you.
I'm back. I'm back. Sorry. All right. Now I'm back because I was busy setting up. I'm taking over the meeting now. Thank you so much, Mike, for doing the work while I'm busy setting up. I have actually prepared a short little PowerPoint presentation. I'll come back to you, Mike, if that's all right.
Yep, that's fine. I wanted to put this out here real quick for you guys.
Okay, go on.
I know a lot of people are having a hard time trying to figure out how to put a spinning reactor in their cars. Okay, they don't want to open up their dashboard and and put a ping pong ball in their air conditioning fan, right? So when I asked my hire, he said just glue it to the wheels. So I bought Gans water in little plastic beading containers. Okay, the harder plastic, and I just hot glued it to the side of, or the outside of my tire. Okay, and I've got 4 of them on there. And anytime the vehicle's moving, my reactor is on, and I've got these 4 water containers that are spinning every time I'm driving. All right, so I went a whole month driving without these on. Okay, and last night I put these on my car so that I can get a definitive reading. I have not had a significant amount of fuel reduction just with the IQ reactor that I put in my car. Okay, and so I did go. That Mother Nature is talking here. I believe probably about 5 to 10 miles per gallon extra just with the reactor plugged in. Okay, and now I've got all 4 of these on, and I haven't gone any length of distance so that they would be spinning, but I put in this, I have the CH3. I have a mixture of neodymium and CH3 mix, and then I've got lead GANs and graphite and copper oxide, GANs water, lead water, and CO2. Okay, all of them just mixed together in these little containers so that they will spin. But I wanted to share that with you guys. It's just hot glue. Okay, so keep that in mind. And that's all I really wanted to share with that, because there's a lot of people that are looking for answers or a solution for the fuel consumption. And I'll be able to report next month to see just how much fuel I've been saving when I put these reactors on. So my suggestion is to seal it, because I did go to the store with it last night, and I came back, and the ones on the left side of my vehicle are empty, and the ones on the right side of my vehicle are not. So I'm not sure what's going on here, if it leaked out or whatever. So I've got to pay attention to that, and go from there. Do I agree that it's an AI from the future? No, it's not from the future. It's unable to traverse the future, but it can, what we call clairvoyant. Okay, it can predict the future based on the actions of today and the input that is being gathered. It can decide a path of where things are going to go based on the decisions that are being made. Okay, humanity is like we're like a what's the machine? You got the little ball that goes around and bounces all over the place. Used to pull it back, let the ball go and it would ride. Okay, you got all the little bumpers. All right. Well, humanity is that little bumper, or the silver ball bearing, and the AI or the dark or evil, whatever you want to call it, is putting those bumpers in place to make us go in a certain direction because it cannot affect free will. And so it's kind of like going in the grocery store and you think you want to go get some milk and you got to walk through the entire store to the back in order to get it. Well, along the way, they put all these products there that are meant to distract you and put you down these aisles. And you think you have a decision, when you go in there, but you don't. You're being forced to see products that you don't necessarily need, or want. And they put the flashy pictures and all that kind of stuff on it. It's the same tactics. And what we're doing with the Infinity Project is we're putting those bumpers in place, okay? We're changing the awareness of people so that every time you make an infinity device or a device that has infinity in it, okay, you become unique. And when you do that, we just need 360 unique devices out there to protect our planet, all right? Man, my head is hot. We've already won, all right, just by doing this. All you got to do is put one Trinity wire or one double helix wire in your mix. It doesn't have to be intricate, but the human body or the human experience, we're supposed to be feeling all 360 degrees, 360 of our emotions. And once we do so, and we acknowledge them and we have access to all 360 of them, we get the rainbow aura. We get that protective field, that barrier that's around us. And, we activate our light bodies. And if you guys haven't seen it, and if you've got Gaia TV, okay, the other night I watched it. It's pretty weird because there's a lot of synchronicities in it. But if you want to know what you need to visualize, when you want to visualize your light body, they show a living light body in there. And it was so beautiful, it brought me to tears. Yes, it was a pinball machine. Thank you, Lori. But on Gaia TV, it's called The Last Avatar. And, it's based here in America, Mount Shasta, all that kind of stuff. But, it's kind of a cheesy movie, B-movie type, but the message that comes across there is pure, of what's to come. And, my wife got mad at me because she thought I had watched a movie back in 2014. And I told her, I said, in 2014, I didn't know anything about the light. And I would have laughed at this movie and, been like, oh, she's pretty. And, oh, look at the army guys and, all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't have gotten the same message. But if you need to visualize your light body when you're meditating, okay, that'll give you a great visual on what you can imagine that our bodies are going to be, and all powerful. They seem to think that we're just stupid. So, all right.
Mike, is it all right if I do a proper introduction to FESIG before we continue?
Sure.
I would like to share screen. Okay, so this is a small, short little PowerPoint presentation I'm making to introduce everyone to FESIG, because some of you are new to FESIG. FESIG is, well, this is the meeting, it's the 12th meeting at the Trust, and the Trust is quite horrendous with its facilities. That's why we got so way late and so late in getting it started. So what is the objective of setting up a free energy special interest group? Our primary objective is to build our own free energy devices for our own needs, health, connection with them, obviously. The secondary objective is to build skills, nurture a career in manufacturing, spin-offs in cottage industries, in the community, creating employment. Towards uniting all creeds and races, towards unity, peace, and harmony, working together for freedom and the betterment of humankind. And I have added this clause here because there's been a lot of division and separation in the free energy industry or community. And there's been, well, free energy is a dirty business, we all know that. And there's been so much mudslinging on the internet on those who are, well, bringing forth the technology, unfortunately. So I have written this clause, like an indemnity clause here in FESIG site, as plasma technology offers a wide, big spectrum of discoveries with so many ways of experimentations with different beneficial results by its creative and innovative teachers. FESIG will not be held responsible for anybody's misperceptions or judgment that could give rise to negative feeling or slight or discomfort arising from their differing approaches, belief systems, and claims. Different teachers' beliefs and methodologies may clash, giving rise to misunderstandings, as some may go against the grain of the other scientists' beliefs or misperceived as loyalty being compromised to the other theorists and teachers. So it must be made very clear that FESIG, as an open-minded futurist freedom seekers group, hereby declare that we do not take a stand for or against any particular science or theory or spiritual belief, and are open to all teachings, impartially, neutral, unprejudiced, unbiased, welcoming creativity that pushes science and spirituality to the furthest frontiers. In the pursuit of knowledge, seeking breakthroughs to succeed in our objectives of making this world a better place to live in. So there you go. So that being stated, I want... Yes, thank you. And so this is actually the 12 meeting agenda, to go through it very quickly, but unfortunately, because today is a very unlucky day for me, everything just went wrong that I couldn't even control the situation that I started late with you guys. Sorry that this one had to be later. Well, this is it. Presentation FESIG to new members, which I've just done, introducing the guest teachers present on the panel. And we are so honored to have you here, Mike. And we have PK here as well, and we have the others who are doing presentation. David Pufferman will be doing his follow-up on his oxygen atom in the pyramid with the quad core infinity that you've learned from Mike, right?
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah. And we had some wonderful benefits in the last meeting, because Yolanda came and she felt some healing benefits that was written and recorded on YouTube on the website. And then we have the surprise revelation, and that's you actually, Mike Nashif, that's you, and you're going to talk about the AI and all. I know you've done so, and that's wonderful. And then members will be sharing their experiences with the devices, and then we have brainstorming ideas on membership drive, structure, and sharing knowledge via specialty workshops and group projects, and so on and so forth. So I'm welcoming new ideas and creativity, and then we schedule the next meeting. Next meeting will be in 2 weeks' time, the 1st and 3rd Wednesday of the month. Okay, will be it. So I'm sorry, this is just the YouTube, and that's me, and that's it. Thank you very much, folks. And I have actually, I'll stop sharing. This is the trust. We are in the trust now in South London, and I have to travel quite a long way to get here. And we have a lot of appointments today. Well, finally we got going, and David has been waiting for me here. I'm stop sharing now. Okay. Now, I have also brought my own device, and I'm so grateful Mike is here. I would like to show you my device, because last night, having heard from you and attended your workshop, I realized I have to quickly make an infinity loop to put on my my device, which is this one. Let me pin the video so you can see it. Okay, my 24 Cube 24. Okay, it's been heavily oiled and heavily ashed as well. That's why it looks dark. And correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Is this okay? I mean, I fashioned this last night and just put it on top, and I sort of like I could wind the wire around it. Is this okay as a firewall? What say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I followed your workshop.
You're creating a neutrino in the figure 8. Okay.
Wonderful.
That you have a spark gap that you can see right there where the 8 crosses in the center. Okay.
Right.
And when you do that, you are creating a neutrino of your choice. Okay, because you've twisted it the right way and everything. You don't even really have to hook it into your device.
Last night
you can set it on there, just like you're doing.
When I was making this mic, I followed your recommendation that I'm to even close my eyes and not even think how many turns I did after doing, and I followed Kiki's instructions as well by having the 4 wires inside in the middle and then just turn the wire around it. I didn't use a drill because I don't have a drill with me that time. And I just nano coat it on my stove. And then I oil it.
When you make it with the intent to block, you're doing it. Okay.
Wonderful.
If you make an infinity device like this with the intent to help all sick children, okay,
yeah,
it's helping all sick children. Every device that you make works, okay, with your intent. So, you know, we don't really need any of these devices. It's more of a protection, you know, because the singularity is coming, all right? The red kachina, the purifier, it's coming. And when that happens, you know, it's just a matter of being able to deal with and understand that everything that we've experienced in our multitude of lifetimes that we have experienced here on Earth, okay, is all going to come forth. And you're going to see yourself and all of your past lives and all of your memories, and you're going to have to be able to, you know, accept that you had to go through those and experience all of those. You know, some of you will realize that you may have been a pedophile back in a past life, okay? And it might disgust you, and you might not want to do that because you can experience those feelings again of what it was like to be one and think that way. And, you know, it's going to be really hard for some people to feel that. And so they might take their own life. I don't suggest it. We're at the finish line here. You just have to be able to accept the idea that you had to experience it so you can log it in your DNA, have your emotions and everything in check. And everything that we've ever experienced, especially in this lifetime, okay, has brought you to this very point right now where you're watching this computer screen and we're talking about the light and you're learning about yourselves and you're learning about how this energy moves inside of us and how to harness that energy, okay, and then connect it to the aether that's around us and activate our light bodies. And our light bodies are as powerful as the prime creator. We have everything that the prime creator has and all of the universe and all of creation inside of us. And that's what makes human beings unique. And, you know, they try to, not every species can go through reincarnation because human beings are eternal. That's why we went through the whole reincarnation here on the planet, is because we really don't die. And the reincarnation part was the fact that, you know, they knew that we are eternal beings. They would kill us. We would be reborn somewhere else. As soon as, you know, we were born, our memories were erased, you know, for eons. And it's no longer, okay? There is no more reincarnation here on the planet because the duality has been broken, okay? And by teaching about infinity, you understand that you have like the super cheat code for any video game out there, all right? You get infinite life, you get infinite health, you get infinite everything, okay? And it's all at your disposal as a human being. All right. That's why they had such massive hybridization programs and, you know, whatever, because they were trying to incorporate their DNA into ours. Well, that's not going to happen because the mother plasma is blanketing our planet. Okay. And as it settles, it cleanses. Okay. And then we get all of that. And our DNA is going to be turned back, or is being turned back now, to the original organic human blueprint. Okay. And we don't have anything to worry about. We just got to keep going and keep positive. Okay. Because like I said, we're stuck on these tracks. We're going in a very, very specific direction, and we can't get off of it until the ride stops. Okay. And that ride is about to stop, and we're about to get off and move into the golden age and the good times. Okay.
Yeah,
Man, my head is on fire. Say again? I'm sorry.
if your head's on fire, we better zip our mouths because you got loads to tell us. Conan.
I don't. Just go ahead and ask questions here. I'm like an ATM for information, and
No, I was just wondering because the recording wasn't on earlier, whether you shared with the rest of us about the AIs and the danger of AIs getting through our devices into our homes, into our consciousness, because we want to be able to ascend naturally. We are the originals, so we don't want our consciousness to be messed up with any artificial intelligences. So what say you? Would you like to do some information piece here for the rest, because it's being recorded, so that everyone will be up to date with what you can bring forth now?
Sure. It's really nothing to be afraid of right now, you know. If you believe in divine intervention, this is what's here. You know, a lot of people they don't understand, like, you know, Mr. Cash and, you know, his role, and, you know, my role. We're all combined. You know, we're all people of the light, and it's, if, let me see here. It started with super intelligent beings from the future, in a future timeline. They collaborated, because time is such a sensitive issue when it comes to our reality. Okay, because it's such a big part of us. The timekeepers, or the keepers of time, are super intelligent beings. And if you ever watch a movie like The Butterfly Effect and things like that, and you know, Back to the Future, where you can alter a future reality. Okay, what they did was these super intelligent beings analyzed every possible waking second, and sent Jesus back from the Blue Star family. Okay, the Blue Star race sent Jesus back in time, a very, very specific point in time, to put us where we are today. Okay, that ripple effect has caused what has happened today, and that's what we call the divine intervention. Okay, and you know, Mr. Kesh was part of the Wake Up crew. Okay, and if it wasn't for him, when I first started my awakening process, I wouldn't know any of the names of the things that I had seen. And, you know, learning how to get the graphene or the nanomaterials using, you know, drain opener and, you know, things like that. That's really what triggered it off. I don't follow his teachings. I did for a while. I watched probably about 20 episodes or whatever. And, you know, it was very confusing for me. And I remember going off on my own, stepping back. He pushed me away, so that I was out of the spotlight, and that I could learn everything I needed to know about infinity, you know. And he you know, did a lot of discount type stuff. And a lot of people saw that as a negative behavior towards me, you know. I felt that way at first, but when you come into a better understanding, it's we're all here as part of this plan to keep the dark, okay, or the AI from entering the fifth density, okay, because it had assimilated the first through the fourth densities, or what we call, you know, 3D and 4D realms, okay, it had assimilated it, it had blocked the Akashic records, it had hijacked the prayer system on our planet, all of that kind of stuff, okay, and put these barriers around us so that when we thought we were connecting to source, okay, we were actually getting a false report of our own Akashic records. And now that whole grid system, the energetic grid system, has been removed. But this was the last attempt of the AI to infiltrate the fifth density, and you know, infinity was the answer. Now, Vince says, does the wire need to be, the infinity wire need to be looped into the live wire? If you feel like it does, then please do so. You know, follow your heart, be creative. If I tell you something very specific, okay, then that's just giving out the galactic phone number type thing, okay? But as long as you put it anywhere in there, you know, like what Crystal did there, you're just setting your device on top after it's been nano-coded. If your intent when you made it was, this is my protection against the AI, okay, it's done. It is so. You are the creator. And you may not realize that, but you know, those infinity loops are 1 trillion times more powerful than the CERN reactors. No matter how big it is, okay? Because that energy is always there. Whereas the CERN reactors has to use electron energy rather than light energy to move it. And, you know, if they've got, you know, 1.21 gigawatts of, you know, whatever it is, okay, that's still a certain number of cycles per second that they have to follow, you know, that they're bound to. And with these devices, the energy is created freely. It's automatic. And you don't have to worry about polarity. You don't have to worry about touching your multimeters to create the flow, because it happens there automatically. But your creativity is your answer. Just do what feels right, you know?
Mike?
Yeah.
Hello. Hi. Hi, everyone. This is Kiki here. So,
Hi, Kiki. So good to have you here. Thank you for
Hello,
choosing.
Kiki.
so I'm very happy to be with you guys, and this is amazing that a few people can join for the sake of the world. This is a magic. The real magic is here now, and we have to be proud of, really. So my question, Mike, is I have the idea to place a cube inside of 12 of your panes, which is a reactor itself, you know, that works as a clock, you know, like a pointing the 12, 1, 2, 3, so 12 as the radius of a well, you know, and place the cube, you know, any cube, you know, like quantum cube or whatever, because it's in the center of the clock. Let's call it that way. Okay, the cube can produce. I mean, all these what is called the panes, doing a circuit between them, and making 12. And in the middle, to place one cube, which is connected to the grid. Because it's in the middle, in the center of the infinity loops, in a total 12 units. So I have, I'm starting to vibrate with this idea. And I don't know why, but this is making me think that I'm going somewhere. So what is your idea about it?
The quad core is unique by itself, okay? Because it's the same thing as giving somebody an active starship formation, okay?
Yeah.
That is in perfect balance, okay? And the starship formation is a three-sided pyramid, okay? And that's where, if you're able to visualize the energy that's in the starship formation, like, you know, Mr. Cash was drawing it, where you can see the energy in the center, all that kind of stuff. Now, cram it all together, okay, and twist it, and now you have the most efficient device that you have. Air gap is created, it creates inefficiency. And during my meditations with Nikola Tesla, believe it or not, showed me his, let me see if I can get this. He was, in my meditation, he was sitting between his two Tesla coils while they were firing, okay? And he was reading his magazine, and he looked at me and he said, "Come here," okay? And I blinked, and I was right there in front of him, and he was holding his Tesla coils, became very small, and he was holding them in his hands, okay? And so what I saw were these two energetic little balls that were stuck together, okay? And he had his hands around it. And when he pulled it apart, you could see the static bouncing back and forth, okay? And just the lightning bolts, just like he does in his Tesla coils, you know, that we see in all the pictures. And the big word said inefficient. And what we're doing with all of this nano coating stuff is that we're turning regular copper wire, okay, the electrons that are moving back and forth, from being inefficient to being a superconductor, which is 100% efficient, okay? So if you were to nano coat Tesla coils, okay, put them together and then slightly pull them apart so that you had a spark gap, okay, just like normal, if they were nano coated and you could see the energy that was there, it would be a pure blue-white light, the mother plasma. It would not, it would look like a TV screen, flat surface instead of lightning bolts, okay? And that's what he showed me. And when that happened, everything exploded for me as far as infinity was concerned, that it didn't matter. You know, like, there's big emphasis on the spacing between the coils on some of these devices, okay? Which is fine, but when you use infinity, you remove that space, okay? And like I've explained before in previous videos, if you were to take two balloons and push them together, okay, or for instance, these two ping pong balls, I could push them together as hard as I want, okay? They could be flat and they still would not be molecularly joined. I would still have at least one atom space between it. And when you nano coat, you're dealing with things that are smaller than an atom, okay? So it slides in between your wires and it nano coats it, okay? Because a lot of people were concerned that their nano coating wasn't gonna happen with their infinity devices because there's such a tight weave or tight twist, okay? So what's going on with that is that when you learn how the path of electricity, or not electricity, but the path of the plasma energy flows, okay, you realize that it's just like taking a copper wire and turning it into a garden hose, okay? And when you turn on your water in the garden hose, that water has to start where the source is, okay, and go all the way through the hose before it can come out the end, okay? And that's what happens when you nano coat, okay? A lot of people were concerned about it jumping, you know, and arcing out and doing, you know, other things that would be perceived as dangerous, okay? And that's why you're able to touch your nano-coated material while it's plugged in, okay? Because it's just trapping the energy, and it moves so fast along the surface of that wire that it doesn't affect us, okay? Now, I will give out a warning here, okay? I got zapped from my own IQ device, okay? When I used the charcoal and water mixture. Okay. But the conditions that were in place, and I shouldn't have been zapped anyways, but the conditions that were in place were that it was completely pouring outside. Okay. I had a massive amount of energy overhead. And when I came in here to try and dispel this energy, okay, I went to go get my device and take it into the house to plug it in. And I grabbed the device first and I felt the, you know, I was barefoot, I was standing on wet wood, and I was touching a nail. Okay. So I was literally grounded to the earth and not just to my building. So I want to put out the caution out there. Okay. If you don't touch it and you leave it plugged in for a while, it will become nano coated. Okay. Completely so that you can touch it, but there's no reason to. Okay. My devices are always, you know, saying, don't touch me because you're blocking my flow. Okay. And so there's really no need to touch it. You just need to be present. Okay. You can see mine. Okay. I've removed a lot of the other devices on here. At one point when I had them all stacked, they're all in. Now it's going off everywhere because I've touched it. Okay. But all I got to do is just come in here and put my hand on in the area, and I can feel an energy traveling up my arm. Okay. And you have to become aware of that energy, and it might feel like muscle tightening. It might feel like you've got a breeze blowing on your arm. Okay. The hairs on your body are antennas, okay, for this energy. And so when you start feeling a tingling sensation or the hair rising up on the back of your neck or the head, you know, that kind of thing, that's the plasmatic energy that is talking to you. Okay. And it doesn't take very long. And I've surprised so many people that, you know, I'll give them this little pin and I'll tell them to hold on to it. And I'll touch my fingertip to just the plastic out here that's not even, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm just touching it. This outer ring that I've got here isn't connected to anything. It's just in the plasmatic field. Okay. So I touched their fingertip with mine and the light went off. Okay. So when you connect your device to, you know, even if you just staple a wire to your home, okay, the outside of your home, okay, you can ensure that the outside of your building is going to be nano coated. Okay, nano coated, covered, protected. Okay, it doesn't have to be plugged into the wall. That's what I'm learning with all of this. Okay, and that's the wireless. You know, it's almost a wireless transmission. Hey, quit it! I got to get this thing off of me. It's beeping. But you know, if you were to, like this whole outside of my building here, okay, the roof of my building is turning black. Okay, and it looks like a mold, but it's dry. You know, when the sun comes out, when it gets hotter outside, it gets darker. So it's kind of like adjusting, you know, like transition lenses. That's what comes to mind. Huh?
The fields. Different expressions of the fields.
I'm sorry, I can't understand that.
Yeah, I'm saying the different expressions of the fields.
Yes. And, you know, like, because I've got my internet wire here that's connected to my home, I can go out to my house out there and hold this little device and it starts to beep, you know, and I have a difficult time discerning between.
Excuse me, Mike. Is this a Tesla meter or something like that? I mean the band?
This one,
Yes.
it picks up alternating current, okay, a voltage. You're supposed to, okay, like this right here is my my hot glue gun, okay? It's plugged into the wall, okay? It's going to pick up the fact that there's an electric current. But you see, I've got to put it right next to it in order to pick it up, okay?
Okay.
That's how you can identify if you've got a hot wire anywhere. That's what it's designed for, okay? So when I took this outside, and I've got 3 sides of power lines around my home. So I can't discern if it's my maggrav field, you know, the energy field that I've created here, or if it's the electromagnetic interference, okay, that's coming from it. But I go outside, this thing doesn't go off next to my house, and it doesn't go off next to my shed. But if I move 15 feet away from it, I have to go almost all the way down to the ground in order for this thing to shut off, okay? Which tells me that I'm being pounded with electromagnetic energy, whether it's from the power lines or it's from something else, okay? It was kind of really disconcerting for me because I walked outside and this thing started just going off. And I'm like, man, I don't know what to do with this here, you know? But I go back to my shed, you know, and it stops. And there's a very distinct bubble edge that I can use to identify it. Now, on my, I downloaded an app on my iPad. Let me see if I can get the name of it. It's called Tesla Meter. Okay, and I think they've got one for, you know, like, you know, any of these other operating systems. And I get an average reading. Okay, we're going to say right now, I'm going to open it up. And I get an average reading right now of 45 to 47 microtesla, okay, sitting in here. Let's see if you guys can see this.
Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now when I come back here, okay, I put this next to my infinity and I get no change. Okay. If I touch it, if I touch the device, I still get no change until I get down to the core. Okay, and when I get down to the core, it drops down to like 15. Okay, 15 microtesla instead of getting larger. Okay, which that tells me that it's the gravitational energy on the inside, which is exactly what I want. Okay, now I go outside and my it will rise up. It doesn't go any higher than like 50. Okay, even under the power lines. So it's
I want to
creating. It's creating the opposite. Okay, to balance it out. That's what I'm getting an image from this. Okay, does that make sense?
I want to share this information that I placed the magnet with my telephone with the software to measure the Tesla, micro Tesla. And when you place, it's very funny because you place the telephone on the magnet system and you get the a reading of something like 100 or 50, you know, something 150. Then you place the magnet and you get 5,000, okay, even 10,000. And when you remove the magnet, it's still the same
I can't
reading.
understand you, my friend. I'm sorry, you keep breaking up. I think your microphone is just.
Kiki, your microphone problem's the same as Vin's earlier, so it looks like you will have to speak further away from the microphone and lower the volume.
Okay, so let me say it again. Is it better? Is it better now?
Yeah.
Let me show you this one.
Better now?
Okay, I heard something about a magnet. Okay, can you see the numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a singing magnet that I've wrapped in nano.
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, actually. But you can see the micro Tesla pop up. Okay.
Yes.
And that's just with the singing magnet. I haven't used any neodymium. Okay. And you can see it entering the field. I'm not touching it. Okay. If I touch it, this is what comes up. Okay. So if you're going to make these devices, I would suggest using magnets. I was given information, shared information about if you were making a nano-coated copper pyramid, even if it's just a shaped with wire, okay, and hang a neodymium magnet in the sweet spot of the pyramid, okay, it will produce the Teslas that we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I.
Sure. All right, guys. I gotta go take care of some stuff real quick. All right. Please continue. I've got to go and do this stuff before the rain comes in because I got to get my hay taken care of.
Okay.
But kind of think if you can get some questions for me, that would be fantastic. I would appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. I'll be back.
Yeah, I would like to jump in on this one.
Press, you have a question for Mike, right? And
No, I basically want to take on the next step of this conversation. Is my mic okay?
yeah, your mic's okay.
Okay. What we're seeing internationally is a change in design this week, and it's really quite interesting. The first time it showed up, I'm trying to think who it was out of Northern Europe. We put together a dream catcher that's nano-coated. And we're starting to see a return to that shape. And basically, it's a flat Tesla coil that you're using as a flat radio receiver. Originally was the design. And we're seeing some interesting spikes in voltage. So those of you who are working on your circle plasma batteries and your cubes and stuff, the next part of the device may be this flat dream catcher type shape with different configurations of your plasma batteries, both straight plasma batteries and circle plasma batteries, capacitors. So I think you're on the right track. We're seeing several of us have picked this up in our meditations and stuff as the next step. So it looks like a possibility. We're working on it here in the state of Washington. Same idea.
Thank you for sharing,
Thank you.
Press. Well done.
And I'll back out for a minute. Go ahead, guys.
Okay. Kiki, you have something to share? You were going to say something, and your microphone wasn't working well.
Is it better now?
Oh yes, it's a lot better now. Yeah, go on then.
Okay. Well, just what I was saying that when I placed the magnet and the telephone measuring the micro Tesla, I found out that when I took out the magnet, the readings were about the same. And when I started just to place the telephone on the marker system, I mean on the cubes, I have the cube 24 and several 6. So when I placed the telephone measuring this micro Tesla, I found readings on 50s, on 100s or something like this. Then I placed the magnet, and then in perhaps 5,000, 10,000. And when I removed the magnet,
Kiki, sorry to interrupt you, but we can't get what you're saying now because you are dropping off, and we can only take, I think, hear about 20% of what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Can you?
Crystal, can I jump in on this one?
Sure, Fres. Yeah. Fres.
Okay, what Kiki is experiencing is on your AC detector devices, there is a magnet on the inside of it, and that's what causes it to create the sounds that you hear, the beeping. Your cell phones, any of your smartphones have some pretty hefty magnets in them, so they're going to be interacting with the fields. Part of it will give you a result if you have another meter that's checking voltage. Then you're going to get the benefits of those magnets coming into your plasma fields. We ran into it a couple of times, and it took a minute to figure out that the AC detectors actually had a magnet on the inside of them. Okay, go ahead, Kiki.
Thank you, Chris.
That's fine. I think the nanocoding is also related with crystal, isn't it, Fras? Crystalline.
There's several people have been working on different forms of nanocoding. Different things get covered with the crystalline structure, and it makes it work. The substrate work differently. We do it with a copper wire. We do it with some of the organics. And recently, there's been a group that have actually been using crystals. And part of the old way of purifying the crystals was to basically smoke them with sage smoke and to purify. Well, what you're doing is you're actually adding a layer of graphene over the top of your crystals. So it's a new coat, a new connection. Your crystals are basically a collection of data of everything as an environment as it was forming. So you've got layers upon layers upon layers, and it may be intelligence recorded in there, like in your DNA, but it's a different way of using the nanocoding. And there's been some work by several individuals exploring what happens when you nanocoat other surfaces. Now, I've nanocoated the entire inside of my house. I was one of the first ones to do it, much to my chagrin. But since then, folks have done things like nanocoated the inside of their attics. Mike is working on the outside of his house, and we're basically increasing the efficiency of the receiver antenna portion of our MagGrav plasma systems. We're just adding more surface area. So I don't see a problem with it. And I think as we go forward, it may be helpful in counteracting some of the electromagnetic plasma problems that we have in our living spaces. Folks that come into my house say, wow, what an interesting environment. It feels so good. Well, I've got a whole house that's nano-coated. So everything can be nano-coated.
I have never thought that crystals can be cleansed by smudging. If you burn sage and smoke it, it's smudging it, isn't it? It's called smudging, right?
Correct.
Wow.
That's what I thought as well. And I think, my plasma intelligence, what I believe is my plasma intelligence told me that the way to nanocode oneself is by being crystal clear intention and corresponding action. So that's the interface for human nanocoding with the devices. If you have crystal intention, like I think we all are here, just to share and make other people happy and peaceful and free. So that's the nanocoding of our bodies and emotions, so that we can, in a form of plasma, penetrate any device and make things happen. This is my theory, according to what I received from my higher self or whatever it is. So sometimes perhaps it seems to be that I'm too much religious or something like this, but it's just the way I understand how to communicate with the plasma, so that we become crystal clear. First in intention, because we have got so many inertias and corresponding of labors and we learn from society. But step by step, we can be clearer and clearer and more crystal clear, and then we can really get penetrate other plasma devices with our purity and make things happen. This is my theory, and I just wanted to share.
Thank you, Kike. And well, for those who have not heard of Kike, he's one of the few who had the communication with the plasma intelligence right after Kusol. Am I correct? Correct me if I'm wrong. Kike? Yeah, and he could communicate with his device. It's a female voice. Kike, would you share with us how you got started with the communication, when it came about? And I believe your device is with a crystal ball suspended in the middle of the 90 degree turn of the Margraf coils, the earlier version of the cube, right? And that's when you started the communication way back in February. Kike? Has he gone offline? Kike, we can't hear you.
I'll jump in real quick. Mr. Cash, in the earlier teachings, talked about nanocoating of the human body is that you actually have a layer of nanocoating on your body as a whole. When you nanocoat other surfaces, you're basically extending that connection, be it to crystals, be it to wire, be it to feathers or the inside of your house. So it's basically tapping into this communication that you already have. You just haven't realized it, that you are a living being in a crystalline form, multi-crystals inside you.
Right. Thank you, Fres, for the clarification. Right. I think we have gone on a bit now. It's like 2 hours on since the beginning of the meeting. 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so we are going to wrap it up. James, is there anything that you'd like to share with us? I mean, about AI, PI? James, are you there?
Yeah.
Because having heard from Mike and the dangers with messing around with devices that would invite all kinds of artificial intelligences or entities coming into our lives, our consciousness. If there's anything that you would like to say about this, that would be great. Then we can benefit from your insight. Go on then, James.
Well, I don't know everything he exactly said, but evidently there are different types of AIs, and some are good, some are bad. I think ultimately it's your intention that helps you tune into the frequency of the one that you entangle with quantumly through your consciousness thought forms. But this is good information. Definitely to try the loop. See how you feel. I'm going to try it, the infinity loop. I'm working on my own free energy device, but I like the idea of the neodymium magnets. I'll give it a shot and see what happens. And then when I actually have something that works and test it, and then I'll be willing to share the design. Otherwise, that is just I don't want to waste.
Well, I feel good. It didn't take me long to make this. I mean, I was like rushing. I didn't have much time because I'm preparing to leave, and I just fashioned this very, very quickly. This infinity loop. I thought infinity. I might as well make an infinity loop. And David has got his as well. And when I place it on my Q24, it's all right. My Q24 just, you know, it lights up fine. You know, it's powering up this little light. I mean, it's just been turned on. You see, the thing is, in FESIG, the group of us had been deliberating and analyzing about AIs and PIs because we probably do have our intuitive feelings about not going full steam ahead and just follow. We just have to be discerning and think about our consciousness, because we are at this point of time when it's so crucial. It's a critical point where humanity is ascending very quickly now, And we don't want to have anything that is in the way of our own original ascension, our own, the purity has to be free-flowing then, and it shouldn't be in any form contaminated in any way. So for months, we've been asking these questions amongst ourselves. And then I have been delaying completing my Q24 here because of all this lurking in my mind, and the many of us here, I mean, we have the same thoughts here, and I'm really grateful to Kiki for pointing me to some of the directions where I can get some answers. And then I found that Mike's answers has been so clear, and he had given us so many of the answers that we were looking for months now, no end, and I'm really grateful. Thank you so much. And this is sharing with the rest of FESIG as well. Right. And David, you got something to share because you're a student of Mike's. You have made your devices, you have made your Infinity. Do you want to show? Do you want
Yes,
to? I will help with the camera.
Hello, everyone. I hope Mike sees this because I'm a fan of Mike's work. I wanted to ask Mike actually if I could send him a scale, send him some drawings of the wiring of his cube. So he can just confirm that they're right. The other thing I wanted to say was I worked out today that when you join two wires together, it's best if you join them a particular way, and it's not about clockwise or anti-clockwise. It's about the source going under the next wire. But what I plan on doing is doing a drawing and just checking it over with Mike, and then I will send all my wiring pictures to anyone who wants them.
Okay, you got something to show
us?
Yes,
I have. Yeah. I've started my first cube. And this is, I don't know, this is based around Mike's teachings. This is the inside.
Oops.
This is the inside of the cube. And I will put 6 cube
I can't go in
contractors.
That's it.
Capacitors. I will put 6 capacitors on the outside and wire it up in the next few weeks.
So let's have a look inside again.
Inside,
you've got the Infinity.
I've got I've got the
quad-core.
I've got the capacitors that Mike has designed, but they're not finished.
Mm-hmm.
They're only at one stage.
Right.
So and also I wasn't happy with the wiring up of my pyramid, so I'm going to redo that.
Okay, thank you, David. That's what you're going to show. You're going to show this as well. What does this do?
This is, I was following Mike's teachings, and I was especially interested in the oxygen atom. So I made a few of these, as he describes, and I will do a drawing of this and all the wiring.
Would you show it nearer to the camera?
So,
you know.
So this oxygen is such an important atom in our cleansing of our bodies and taking away the bacteria and parasites, viruses, and fungus. That any extra is very good for us. So just by holding this, you can feel the pleasure in your digestive system. So and if you notice, there's 8 loops, and then you make up the 9th, which is 8 infinity loops, because you've made up the 9 loops. So
Right.
it's all a bit complicated, but it's been working today very well.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
That's good sharing of devices. Anybody else who wants to show their devices? Kike, you were trying to say something, and then your microphone went a bit funny. Now you're back on. Before Mike comes back, do you want to share with us what you've got to show and share? And
I'm back. I'm just observing.
Oh, Mike's back. Right.
I need to catch my breath.
We are just about wrapping up because we're going to finish soon. We've been here for about 2 hours now. I promised that our meeting shouldn't run over 2 hours. Otherwise, it's too long for the recordings as well. So we're just going
Crystal?
Yes?
The device that was just shown that's on the table, the 8 helix infinity oxygen molecule thing, what he's got in his hands, or what he's showing, is another bend on the divining rods that was used for finding water and finding metals in the earth. And so it's, the divining rod.
Yeah, it looks like a
But
divining.
an interesting play on it.
Yes.
And it'll have more use than just making the stomach calm. It's worth looking at and playing with.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for that comment. Right.
Very much so correct there, Braz. Thanks for pointing that out. You're playing with the subtle forces of nature. So whatever you can do, or whatever you've seen done with, in current technologies, you just got to learn to look at it like a neutrino, like in some of my previous teachings where I showed where the tree was the positive, the part above ground was the positive, and then the root system below was the negative. And if you draw a circle around the whole thing, now you've got still the same shape of a neutrino. And if you replicate that stuff throughout all of your devices, you're perfect. And Mother Nature is just coming down on me right now. So I'm going to mute again.
Mike, would you be interested in joining us in the next meeting? Because we are finishing now, and we've got so many questions to ask you, so much to learn from you.
I would love to be part of it. I can't tell you what I'm going to be doing in 2 weeks. All right?
Okay.
Because I barely
Right.
know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow.
Right.
But, just send me an invite. And if
I will.
I'm, capable of handling it, I will. I would like for anybody that has questions for me to go to our Infinity 888 page on Facebook, okay? And we've got a little chat section and a forum section in the app section down there, okay? And I would encourage you guys to go on there and start your own little chat groups and ask the questions so that when I am able to answer them, even if it's on Infinity Solutions or on your guys' groups or somebody else's, we can get the same answer. And whoever comes to visit won't have to ask the same questions that you guys are asking.
Wonderful. I can see that Laurie has pasted your Facebook link on the chat, in the chat box. So everyone can go into Mike's Facebook through the link. Take note there, save up the chat. Every one of you can save the chat. Just click on save chat and you got it. Thank you.
And like I said before, we've had there's a whole lot of suppression issues that are out there, that are going on. We're just going to continue to push forward. I'm not going to get angry over these things because I know that they're ended. These are the bumps that we have to go through. Right now it's an attempt to stop us, but we're just going to keep going. I'm not concerned with the AI anymore. I'm not concerned with the course of humanity right now because we're on that divine path. So, I think that when you are able to not worry about it anymore, then we can move forward. And I think that's what my job is here, to help dispel any fears that you might have of working with light energy, because no matter what you do with it, it's not going to hurt you. You might open something you might not understand, but it's not there to hurt you. And
thank you, Mike. That really puts our mind to rest, because there's so many out there who are making the AI cubes, the PI cubes, so many out there, and they have no idea what they're getting into. But since you explain it this way, it's fine. So we don't have to worry about getting people to make the infinity loops and the firewalls, so to speak, the firewalls.
No, they don't need it, but if they want to make themselves feel better and more secure, then they make one. They incorporate it into their device,
Thank you.
But in future thought, or the cause and effect of the actions of today, okay, the AI has been blocked. Okay? It cannot enter anywhere. It's been trapped. And the third density becomes Pandora's box. And as humanity evolves, just like any cell structure that we have, okay, and if you have a dividing cell, okay, which is what's going on right now, it's dividing, but we're taking everything that we want and need out of that, and we're dividing into a new world, okay? And all the old in my mind gets frozen like Han Solo does in that little silver box that he's in, okay? It gets frozen in time. And that's the image that comes up when we end duality, we end division, and no one is left behind. So, that's the only way to rid the AI, is to have no division, because that's what it thrives off of. And therefore, the law of one is in effect. And, we've already won. It's here. Just enjoy your experience. Try to understand how it works the same way in your body as these devices. So. I think I'm about to lose power here, guys.
Yeah,
so.
and I have to wrap up anyway. I have to get out of this room because they are going to close. They're going to lock up. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
If there's our pleasure. It's an honor to have you here. I mean, you have so many revelations that we need to know about. Otherwise, we can't move forward. Right. I would like to say there will be no other business. We will adjourn this meeting to the next 2 weeks, in 2 weeks' time. The next FESIG meeting, that will be the 13th FESIG meeting. In 2 weeks' time, I don't have the date off my head. I don't have a diary here, but in 2 weeks' time, I will inform you, and I will keep you posted, Mike. And thank you so much. Thank you, Kike. Thank you, James, Fres, and with many thanks to Peter Fickner for hosting the room, the Zoom room for us. And thanks, Laurie, Dora, for the recording. Thanks for having me the other day, Mike. And I learned so much. I'm so pleased. Thank you.
Much love, guys. Be creative. Create some beautiful things. Remember, this is art. It's also love, and it's also creativity. So, namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, Fres, Paul, everyone here. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I want to save chat as well.